Yo there, how are you doing? Music collaborator here, very quietly I can see. Might need to do some stuff with recording levels. There we go, that's a bit better. So, and I see that my mute button's not working at all. Let's run that. Also going to run a vPilot. Yay, the mute button's working now. Just logging into the vatsim. Wasn't quite ready to start really, was I? And yeah, Cyclatives, you got your first message in. I've just logged in. Hotel Tango Mike. Let's have a look at the flight plan. And we'll file it as we go. Ah, that's the wrong chart. I was looking for a different one. We'll need to leave that in Caboolture. So obviously last time we finished off in Toowoomba, Brisbane West Wellcamp. Sorry, I never get the name of this airport right because it is stupid. Brisbane West Wellcamp, which is actually in Toowoomba. It's actually west of Toowoomba, and Toowoomba is a little town west of Brisbane. So why I'd call it Brisbane West? Well, yeah, it's a bit of false name advertising there. Anyway, there's Toowoomba. That's where we are. So we're at Brisbane West Wellcamp, YBWW. And we're heading off towards, is it Caloundra? Here it is, which is YCDR. We're also going to go past Caboolture, which will be our alternate. Let's have a look at our chart, the big chart. There we go. Leaving Brisbane West Wellcamp, we're going to head towards Gowrie Junction, which is GOW. And from Gowrie Junction, we're going to keep on heading up north towards Kubi Creek Reservoir, which is CBY. CBYC. From there, continue on towards Crow's Nest, which is a little town up a hill. C and T. And from there, we'll continue on upwards to this little airport here, Watts Bridge. Now, Watts Bridge here has a YWSG. And do a touch and go at least there. Watts Bridge actually has aerobatics happening there. So there's aerobatics surface to 5,000. So we'll need to make a broadcast to the CTAF as we cross that line there. From there, we're going to head off to Somerset Dam, which is SMD. And then continue along to Caboolture Township, which is CAB. And then we'll make a stop at Caboolture. We might even just do a touch and go. And the Caboolture is YCAB. And after Caboolture, we'll head on towards Caloundra. And to get there, we just essentially fly from Caboolture straight up to Roy's Orchard, and then into the Caloundra. We'll just do a direct there, YCDR. We can be as high as you want, up to about 8,500. I think we're going eastbound, so I might call it 5,005. VFR, we'll file that away. Done. Hi there, Aussie. How are you? I see 10 of you guys are online. That's good to know. Haven't done too much yet. We've just filed the flight plan here out Wellcamp, and we're going to head over to the airplane. Just the Piper Cherokee today. I've decided that we'll take the Cherokee all the way up to at least Bundaberg, and then we'll swap over to the Diamond DA62. Once we get over to Diamond 62, we'll head on to Rockhampton and then out into the desert. We're going to fly pretty much direct to Long Reach. It's a 300 plus mile flight. We might even consider doing it IFR if we can convince someone to be Brisbane Centre for a couple of hours one day. Yep, love the GTA character. It's quite fun. I'm liking these little, I'm not sure if they are lamps. Almost look like bubblers, except for the fact that they're clearly not. Hi there, Grant. Atrocious weather tonight. Yeah, I'm glad it's not too bad here in Melbourne. It's pretty good. In Brisbane, though, we've got these big, chunky, fluffy clouds. I'm not sure what they're doing or how high they are. Probably should have checked, eh? I can probably do that now. It's going to log into Napes. It's doing it on my other screen, so you guys can't see my Napes password. There we go. And location briefing for essentially now. YBWW, and I'll do YBSU as well. Okay, Wellcamp. We have wind 3308, scattered 4,000, Cav OK, which means it's clear up to at least 10,000. Up on the Sunshine Coast we have scattered 2,500, right. Yep, FS Labs is indeed expensive. There's a reason for that. Anyway, I look forward to World Flight, which is in about 38 days. So I was looking at the countdown clock. They've just made a slight adjustment to the flight route to include Frankfurt. So I'll need to ensure my Frankfurt scenery is ready to go. I think it'll take a couple of days over the next week or two just to ensure that everything is ready as far as scenery is concerned for my World Flight flights. I know Sharm el Sheikh's working fine. Cool, let's jump in. Control lock is away. Cool, happy with that. Let's drop this. Get that in and drop the flaps. Time to do a walk around. Yep, the flaps are good. Empty the plane again. There's our ailerons. Yep, that's all fine. Tie down is off. Wheel chocks are off. Nothing but fuel in there. We did refuel on our last flight, so we should be fine. We're above the boot, so everything's good. Oil looks fine, about 7 quarts. The tyre is fine. The propeller, no cracks or dents. The spinner's fine, and so are the air intakes. Nothing but fuel in there. They're pretty even tanks, so both of them are about to the same level. Wheel chocks are away, so is the tie down. Stall warning system is flapping fine. That's also fine. Good flaps. Last tie down is away. Checking the hinges. And also checking the jack screw. That's fine. Yep, the pants are on again. Quite embarrassing running the aeroplane around without any pants on. Happened ages ago. I think I had to reinstall Hotel Tango Mic a while back. Would have been just before the first flight. We did it into Canberra. No, entirely forgot to put the pants on her. Oh well. Door's locked. I'll open the door, the window. Before we turn anything on, we'll just set up a few of the more simple instruments. We have a Q&H 1025. That is set. Let's double check it. Cool. Reckons 1023. Alright, we're in that second section. Wind 0706. Which will be runway 12 for departure. We'll do the intersection. We don't know the full length. Checklist. Okay, primer. Open that up. Make sure I've got a fuel tank selected. We do. Fully rich. And I'll just squeeze a bit of fuel into the starter. There's 3. Airplane weight and balance is fine. Secure cabin door. Control wheel locks removed. Controls, we'll check it free and correct. Controls are good. Gonna drop these. I love the flaps on the Piper Archer or Cherokee. You just kind of click them down. It's a bit like a ratchet handle on a parking brake. Ignition and avionics are off. Master switch. Set. Fuel, even on both tanks. Elevator trim. Neutral. Beacon goes on. Electric fuel pump. Fuel pressure is looking good. Primer's done. Mixture is fully rich. Throttle is cracked. Area is clear. Ignition set to both. And let's start her up. Clear prop. Power 1000, just going to lean it out. Avionics are in. Okay, just going to set up the VOR on 113.2. Cool. So I should be able to get the DME readings once we get close in. And while we wait for the oil temperatures to come up into the green, we'll go ahead and chuck into some flight plan. So, Gowie Junction, GOW. After that, over to Kubi Creek, CBYC. CruiseNet, CNT. And then direct to Watts Bridge. Which is WSG. Done. I'll chuck in the rest of the flight plan as well, since we aren't stopping at Watts Bridge, or we might be just doing a stop and go, taxi back, and then continuing. Want Somerset Dam, SMD. One of these days we might fly without this, but we have it in the airplane, so why not use it? CAB, easiest waypoint in the world. And then YCAB, because why not? And then we'll do direct to YCDR. That's the entire flight today. Looking for a Jetstar texture for the A320, eh? Well, at least we don't need to worry about a Jetstar texture for the Dash 8 Q400 anymore, because they're going to be retired in November. No more Jetstar New Zealand. By the time more flight hits, we will not be having them in the skies anymore. Okay, we should be, yep, we're in the green. That's taxi on out. What's our multicom WW? Good stuff. I'm just going to pick up the chart. There we go. What we got? Yep, it's fine. Actually, I'm going to score code. Done. Traffic Brisbane West Wellcamp Hotel Tango Mike is a Piper Cherokee taxiing out of the GA apron freight side. For runway 12, we'll be departing via the Gulf intersection and departing via a left-hand crosswind at Brisbane West Wellcamp. Yeah, another Vi. I saw them when I was last in Brisbane, but it's in Auckland, sorry. But that's right. Either on. Be home soon, eh? A late shift. I haven't done a late shift for long enough that I don't ever care to do one ever again. Hate the late shift at my work. Things get progressively weirder as the day goes on. The beginning of the day is so full of promise, and if you work hard you can get stuff done. At the end of the day, it's all about failure, about things that were not done. I don't like the failure. So I bugger out of my office at about 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon. Like, bye. Well, I get in there at 7, so you know. went out the in. We shouldn't do that. Yeah, that's it. We'll go out the out instead of out the in. Oh no, that's... Oh, that is correct, yep. Going around the roundabout. What is weird? It says Toowoomba West Wellcamp. Or Brisbane West Wellcamp on the charts. Depends on who you ask or what sign you're looking at. Sometimes it's Toowoomba Brisbane West Wellcamp and sometimes it's just Brisbane West Wellcamp. Oh well. Who's seen that Australia's worst politician, Clive Palmer, is suing Friendly Geordies? That was a pretty normal taxi for a Piper Cherokee. We've got to get up to the runway hold short point. I can see that our compass isn't matching our DG. I'm going to reset that. I'm going to stick our tail over the extended part of the taxiway which isn't being used any at the moment. Never been used before, hasn't been completely built yet. But we don't need to backtrack, we're not a 747. And we'll spin around a bit. Brake is set. Mixture fully rich. There we go. Mag's right, look okay. Try the left. Yep, they're good as well. Cover heat. Drops at about 50. Let's drop it all the way. Settling at 600. Back up to 1,000. Make your way out to the runway. Traffic Toowoomba West, Brisbane West Wellcamp. Hotel Tanker Mike, Piper Cherokee entering runway 12 at the midway point, taxiway Charlie. We'll be departing left-hand crosswind. Brisbane West Wellcamp. Okay, before takeoff checklist, I'm showing about 60, maybe 55. Set. There's runway 12. Checklist. Okay, takeoff, seats, belts and doors, check secure. Belts are on. Let's double check that lock. There we go. Partly undid that. Okay, door is actually locked now. Window is secure. Flight controls free and correct. Elevator trim is set for neutral. Carburetor heat is off. Fuel selected at fullest tank. Let's just double check. Might flip them. Pump is on. Over to the right side. Electric fuel pump goes on. And the flaps are up. Before takeoff checks are complete. Traffic, Brisbane West Wellcamp, Hotel Tango Mike, entering runway 12 at taxiway Charlie for departure via the left-hand crosswind. Here we go. On for 75, there it is on the climb. There goes Wellcamp. Privately built bona fide international airport. Actually has 747s flying there to Hong Kong. Not daily, but once a week or so. It's also got a massive crosswind right now. There's Toowoomba. And we're just going to turn northbound to stay away from the township. No need to blast them with any noise. Yep, 747s fly there once a week. Maybe twice a week. The Cathay Pacific 747-8, the freighter, goes there. Comes up from Melbourne, stops in Toowoomba West Wellcamp, and then heads on up to Hong Kong. On the way down, it comes from Hong Kong, stops in Sydney, and then goes down to Melbourne. So it's a kind of a 4-city trip. Hong Kong, Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane West Wellcamp, and then up to Hong Kong. Cairns used to have 747s back in the good old days. I've got plenty of photos of Qantas 747s up in Cairns. Back in the good old days when 747 SPs were a thing. Okay, I'm going to lean out. An Antonov in the Cairns. Very loud. Not sure what kind of freight they do from there. I know the guys that built the place have a concrete plant Not sure if that has anything to do with the freight that they're sending out to Hong Kong, but I'm assuming not. Have to research that. No idea what they take up here. Coming up on our altitude, 5,005 is where we want to be. Still inside of it. Okay, going to set the RPM needle just about at 2300 and we'll let it climb up to about 24 as we accelerate. There's a bit of trim. First waypoint done. I'm going to remove those charts. There we go. Power back to 24. That's Gowrie Junction. Heading up to the Kupi Creek Reservoir, which is there. Remembering that we do have the pants on today, so we should be able to cruise at about 115 to nearly 120 knots. Yeah, it's settled at 115 already. It's 2400 RPM that's sitting there. Might be possible to use the autopilot in silly mode. No, it's alright. Alrighty, let's have a look at our CTAP requirements. .3. Yeah, correct. Oh, Australian Skywatch, not doing too badly. Yep, I knew they were exporting mostly from Wellcamp Airport. They don't seem to get much inbound, as far as I know. Freight-wise, anyway. Hence why it comes up from Melbourne. Wonder how profitable that is for Cathay Pacific. Hopefully it's doing pretty well. Always fun to have Boeing 747s flying into tiny airports. imagine being a, you know, airline pilot, 747 for Cathay Pacific, flying to Hong Kong, and Sydney and Melbourne. And then you come into that airport there. It's a CTAP. Cathay Pacific 747. Toowoomba West Wellcamp traffic. I'm currently out of Toowoomba, Brisbane West Wellcamp, and we're heading up to Watts Bridge right now. And we've got Caboolture and Caloundra to go for tonight. After that, we'll continue to head north out of Brisbane and make our way through Noosa, Kalula Cove, and Harvey Bay, and all the way up to Bundaberg in this aeroplane. At Bundaberg, we're going to flip over to a twin-engine aeroplane, the Diamond DA62, and that'll take us past Rockhampton and up to Longreach, Quilpie, and Birdsville, Baduri, the Monument, Cloncurry, Richmond, and then all the way over to Mackay. At which point we'll swap over to something else, probably the Comanche, I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm thinking the Comanche. Comanche's nice and quick, that'll get us up to Cairns. So from Mackay we head up to Hamilton Island, and up to Townsville, and up to it's a place next to Cairns. Keep forgetting the name of the place. I've got it all planned out on my plotter here. But yeah, we're not even in the first quarter of this trip. It'll take an entire year, I reckon, to do this whole thing. Even doing 2 to 3 flights a day. Yeah, quite honestly, down to Sydney, I don't know where Rex goes. I think they've got one that flies Rex Airlines from Wellcamp over to Brisbane, which is horrendously short. And yeah, Air North going up to, I think it's Cairns. Can't remember what the Air North flight goes to. Might be Darwin. Crow's Nest coming up. That's the thing about flying with the pants on, is you really need to watch your speed. I'm getting up to that yellow zone quite quickly. Just by descending a little, getting back into the 5,500. Yeah, we're still on the east coast. We haven't gone inland very far. But in a couple of weeks when we head out of Rockhampton, then we'll go pretty far. We should start seeing red dirt by the time we get out past Longreach. Much redder than that. That's brown dirt. That's grass. Townsville, that's the place I was thinking. Not Cairns, Townsville. Sorry people from Townsville for getting you mixed up with Cairns. I know that's a horrible thought to you. I've never been to Townsville. I have been to Cairns. Couple of floating trees. There's a little township of Crow's Nest. So now we head out to Watts Bridge, 20 miles out. Where's that boundary? There it is. Pretty obvious. Cool. So, how's everybody's Wednesday going? Nice little midweek fly. No air traffic control on, no surprises there. I've got top chat on, what the heck? Checking that fuel balance. Yeah, it's time to head over to the other tank, I reckon. Left tank set. Put the strobe on because we do have potential aerobatics happening. Air North operate the E170. They also operate the E120 or EMB 120, but obviously that's only up in Darwin. But the flights down to Toowoomba Wellcamp from Melbourne and to Townsville, going to be the E170 Embraer. Which is a very nice aircraft indeed. Having flown in Virgin Australia's E170 and the E190 in the past, I must say that the passenger experience on the Embraer is second to none. Alright, maybe second to a business class seat in a 787. Traffic at Watts Bridge, Hotel Tango Mike is a Piper Cherokee. We are inbound at 5,500 from the south. We'll be entering circuit time 5-2 for a landing. Hotel Tango Mike. Just need to check a few details here. Alright, so the wind 070 from the east. northeast even. We're using runway 12. 12 right with a massive displaced threshold. We'll see that as we come over. There's technically 2 grass runways. It's almost impossible to see runway 12 left. Only used for gliders. And runway 12 right should be fairly obvious, including the long lead in. There is a fence going straight through the middle of the runway, right at the end of the threshold there. So that's why you can't actually use the back end of the runway, because there's a fence halfway through it. I'm thinking we'll do a stop and go, which means we come to a complete stop at the runway. We'll exit the runway, taxi back, get back into the runway, and then off we go again. Won't need to stop the engine, we'll just taxi around. Now the E120 operates not to Bundaberg, that's way too far. I think they're flying them out to like Groot Island and Murrayburg and Gove and places like that out of Darwin. I'll double check that, but I'm pretty sure they're not operating the 120 out to Rockhampton. They've got the E170 for that. Yeah, Gove's great. Love Gove. I wish the people in the town next to Gove would call their town Gove instead of, you know, Noholambie. Ah, the E170 goes to Gove as well. Oh yeah, to Cairns. I do remember that flight. With a stop and go. Pretty much like they fly over to Broome via Kununurra. Hi there, Sean, how you doing? And Bubs as well. How are we all? Getting ready for world flights. I need to get installing some sceneries and testing the things. Not be landing at airports. I actually made a spreadsheet of when I'll be awake and asleep for world flight. I've got 6 hours sleep scheduled in. It's going to be a tough week to get through. Won't be around for most of Friday either. So, oh well. Watch out for the control step I'm about to bust. I'm not about to bust it. I can see it right there. In fact, the airport that I'm going to land at is in that control step, and the control step is at 5,500. So I know where the control stop is, and I'm 500 below it now. Need to get back on a real crew, but I think this time I'll just fang the old live stream around, and I'll try to see if I can find a crew for 2020. Yeah, plenty of time for sleeping and into Hawaii. There's 6-hour legs, and with Selco hopefully as well. I need to descend like the clappers right now. Carbo heat's on. Gonna square it off a little as well. I can see the airport. Traffic at Watts Bridge, Hotel Tango Mike, Piper Cherokee is on descent out of 4,500, runway 12 right. Estimating circuit time 5.3. Carby heats out. Let's do the checklist. Brakes are released. Undercarriage is fixed. Mixture is fully rich. Pump is on. Fuel set to the left hand side, which is the fuller side. Instrument, I'm showing 1023. Seats and houses are secure. Cherokee for well flight. I'll be flying the FS Labs A320. For most of the legs, occasionally I might swap over to the 787 if I feel like something different. I think I'll go with a Jetstar call sign for the entire flight. Which is a bit weird for me. Hold on, we jump into local call signs. It's a bit bumpy down here. Yeah, the good old FS Labs wall flight. Have the PC for it now, so might as well do it. Thinking that's runways over there. 3 miles. Found it. I thought I saw the runway, but then I realised I wasn't actually looking at the runway. But now I am. Looking at 1500, and we'll do a right base approach. Cherokee Oxbridge, Hotel Tango Mike. Cherokee is inbound for runway 12 right via the right hand base. We'll call the final. Carburetor heats off. According to the ERSA, this is a right-hand circuit. Hence why we're coming in from this weird direction. I'm going to drop a stager flap. Traffic Watts Bridge, Hotel Tango Mike is turning final runway 12 right. Bit of crosswind there. Lovely to be able to see past our own compass. Here we are. Remember, don't land at the beginning of the runway. Lap 20. Yeah, we're doing a full stop and we're going to taxi back and take off. No engine stop. Yeah, I think we got it made. Full flap. 500 feet, runway's clear, carb heats off. Now the runway's got a massive crosswind, but I don't actually have a tailwind. Wind is from 070. Should be. a little uncomfortable. That's right. Welcome home. Thousand RPM. There's the exit. Traffic Watts Bridge, Hotel Tanker Mike, vacating runway 12 right. Gotta love some power poles, power lines. Strobe is off. The Aero Clubhouse. Yep, driving off to Caboolture. Get out your old four-wheel drive. They've got some mountains ahead. Three-wheel drive in this case. Okay, I'll come to a stop here for a second. Let's get a full rich. Going to use flight 10 for this departure. Traffic at Watts Bridge, Hotel Tanker Mike, entering runway 12 right. We'll be departing field via the right hand crosswind, Hotel Tanker Mike. Flap 10. We do actually need a taxi down that way, don't we? Okay, the next one's the massive far end of the runway. Since we're paying for the runway, we might as well use the whole thing while we're here. Here we go. Strobes on, pumps on. That looks about in the middle of the runway there. Let's go. Knots. Heading flaps up. Traffic Watts Bridge, Hotel Taker Mike is departing the field on a right hand crosswind. Hotel Taker Mike. Yes, strobes on when you're in the air or on the runway. That's A320, 737, Piper Cherokee, or, you know, anything that has lights. Put our strobes on as well. Alright, clear mismatch there. Need to do some old-fashioned looking out the window kind of stuff at the moment. So we can climb up to 7,500, but we have a 4,500 step nearby. We'll just stay at 4, maybe even 3,500. Yeah, strobes don't need to be turned on at all. It doesn't affect the way the plane flies at all. It's just, you know, one of those things where you need to be able to see you. So if you're running drugs or, you know, making an illegal flight, you don't want anybody to notice, you can turn all your lights on. That's fine. Plane won't fly any different. Unless it, you know, has a mid-air collision with another airplane, in which case it will fly very differently indeed. There we go, Somerset Dam is what we're headed at. After that we can track pretty much straight up to Caboolture. There's a waypoint in there that's wrong, so I'm going to get rid of it. Ah, there it is. Correct, no one needs to see an Airbus. All of these, do you need to turn the lights on or off? They're lights. Just think about it. If you were in a car, would you turn your headlights on in the daytime? In some countries, you actually have to do that. Otherwise you get pulled over by the cops. In other countries you don't need to do that. People think you're weird if you turn your lights on in the daytime. Alright, 3.5. RPM coming back down to 2400 RPM, just laying it up. Roblox guys knew their stuff. Funny. That's a funny thing. Most airlines have their own rules. And technically it's an airline rule. Of course, Airbus A320 probably has ACARs attached to all the buttons, so if you don't ship up with all of your procedures, the boss will know. And the boss will not be happy if you're not obeying his procedures. I believe I can see the Glasshouse Mountains up ahead. They're rather distinctive compared to most other mountains. Not liking all this turbulence. How high can we get? Darn it, that is Somerset down. We need to be below 4,500 at the next step. We're at 3,500 now. Better stay where we are. Let's deal with the turbulence the hard way. The engine quit, so I'm not going anywhere near all that stuff. We're going to go near that road. In fact, right there looks about good. Ask me that question in 3 minutes. And then we'll talk about some very nasty stuff. Quite at the point where we could glide all the way over, so it's still turned back at this point. Left hand turn. I I can see some green stuff down there, that looks interesting. Hitting the lake is possible at the moment. And the Piper Cherokee would probably float on lake a little bit better than the Cessna. Straight down into there. Not the best, but not the worst. Still liking the look of the lake right now. Soon enough it'll be on that flat plane, but we won't be able to stretch the glide that far right now. Lake is still an option. We are going to have a gap where this will be the only option. He says while opening a window. Yeah, the grass area just under the wing right now is our best option. Lake's a bit too far away. That's still too far to glide to. Right now would be a really bumpy, awful landing if we had to glide it. Still aiming at this spot here. There is a road down there. At this point I reckon the glide might just work, depending how flat that is. Not very flat. Still not convinced. It'd be a bit of a tizzy right now if we had to do it. Yeah, right now it would be throwing ourselves into that hillside right there. Be the ugliest landing in the world. Plane would be a write-off. And I reckon we'd make that field just next to the river right about now. That one there. Let's do it. The engine has just quit on us. There's the carby heat, just to make sure that it doesn't really quit on us. And to make that work, I'm going to pull up, maintain 65 knots in the glide. There it is. We aren't all the way down to idle, but we're at 1000 RPM. Leave it there. Let's see how far we can get there. Just trimming out some forces. After flying along at 115 knots, 65 knots feels like we've stopped in the air. Like on a taxiway, just holding short of a runway. That's how fast I feel like I'm flying right now. I think the minimum safe here is about 1,800. continue it down to about 1,000, nah, about 2,000. See where we are. There's 2,000. Power back up. Carb heats away. Trim it nose down. Yeah, we could have put down there. Would have been pretty ugly, but would have worked. Let's go back up. Okay, 3,500 is where you want to be. 1,000 to go. .2400 RPM, just pulling that lever out, laying it up. And we're leaned up, 2400 RPM, sitting at 115 knots, just where you want to be. I'm pretty happy with all of the in and out options that we have right in front of us. Farmland. Pick your field, any field, flattest field. Land with the ruts, not against them. Try and find a road so you're near something. Consider landing on the road or the grass. Sometimes the road's bad to land on because you've got, you know, the power lines going next to them. They are the hardest, flattest thing around. They also have vehicles on them, trucks and stuff, that will land on those. Nevertheless, we have a new seater. 125.85. Traffic Caboolture. Hotel Tango Mike is a Piper Cherokee. We're on descent over Caboolture Township, and we'll be doing a full stop landing at Caboolture. Hotel Tango Mike, expected circuit entry time is 25. Caboolture, runway 12 again, with all that crosswind. We might even consider a touch and go, to be honest. Touch and go or full stop? Let me know. Flying overhead and make a left hand, so we're coming in from this kind of direction. So we'll need to join on the dead side. We'll do the whole thing from the dead side and then join on the crosswind. Just entered Brisbane Airport, Orbx. There's all those frame rates. Bye bye frame rates, it was nice knowing you. Runway in sight. We're descending onto the dead side, then we'll join on the cross. Motorised gliders and parachutes and hot air balloons at this airfield. Cover heats on. Brakes are released, undercarriage is fixed. Mixture is fully rich. Pump goes on. Checking the tanks. I would like to see the right tank online. Right tank. Instrument is set and seats and harnesses are secure. 1025 over here. .25 set. Traffic Caboolture Hotel Tango Mike is 2000 on descent on the dead side of the field. We'll be joining the left crosswind, runway 12. I'll call you on the cross. Bruce Highway. It's only grass stuff over there, isn't it? Gliders down there. There's more concrete on the taxiway than the runway. No one's answered. I might start calling touch and goes in a little while. Yes, it is one of the OZx sceneries. At least I believe so. Yeah, it's not Orbx, so it must be OZx. Traffic Caboolture Hotel Tango Mike is on crosswind, runway 12, 1000, for touch and go. OZx. Okay. I don't like the word Z. That's not Aussie at all. It's a Z. Not Americans here. It's X, Y, Z. Caboolture Hotel Take a Mic is downwind, runway 12, touch and go. I can say that. Aussie is an Aussie. X is in FSX. Like downwind. Traffic over the Caboolture. Go heat in. Let's do it. Caboolture Hotel Take a Mic, turning base, runway 12, touch and go. There's flat 10. I want to come in a little bit closer. Caboolture Hotel Take a Mic is final, runway 12, touch and go. There's the rest of the flap. .500 feet, carburetor heat is out. Runway is clear. Which one's runway, which one's taxiway? That one's runway. I was lined up on taxiway. Caboolture Traffic Hotel Tango Mic is departing via the left-hand crosswind and heading up to northbound. Hotel Tango Mic. Caloundra is where I'm going. 125.85. Correct. Caloundra. Caloundra coming up next. That was Caboolture. Next will be Caloundra. Won't need to climb much. 15 miles away. If we're at 2,500, we need to start descending now. Yep, Caboolture is south of Caloundra. Caloundra has a better runway. And is a Orbx product actually. So you have to buy this next airport that we're going to. Once we arrive at this next airport, we're going to come to a stop and finish the flight. And on Friday we'll come back and fly up towards Noosa around the Sunshine Coast, which we've already been to. We won't go to the Sunshine Coast again, we've already been there once. We'll go around it and then we'll continue on up to Noosa Heads and then Kalula Cove, and perhaps even continue on to Hervey Bay, which is a much nicer airport to stop at than Kalula Cove. Kalula Cove has like literally sand dunes on the runway in the real world as well. You have to get out the brooms and brush the sand off. Those are beach sand dunes, so they are partly stabilised by undergrowth. I don't want to leave Hotel Tango Mike sitting there in the salty air next to the beach. Not good for it. So I'll continue up into Hervey Bay, which is also close to the beach, but at least it's a proper airport. You know. There's those Glasshouse Mountains I was talking about before. Very kind of distinctive flat plain, chunky mountain, and then just back to a flat plain again. It's not really a range of mountains, is it? You want to see a runway with sand dunes all over it? Yeah. It's an interesting place, Kalula Cove. And when we get into the range of that sometime on Friday, I'll probably tell a couple of stories about it, because in a previous job I actually had a bit to do with a little small town called Tin Can Bay, which is just north of Kalula Cove. Probably fly over it. Is it 5 years since 2014? Yeah, I think so. I can probably reveal the secrets. I'll just need to check if you are from Tin Can Bay, or have been there, or have tried to watch the television while there. Well, do I have a story for you? Traffic Caloundra Hotel Tango Mike is a Piper Cherokee Archer, 1,800 feet, tracking inbound to Caloundra. Estimate the circuit time 4:2. We'll be setting up for an approach on runway 05 Caloundra. Could do a straight in approach for 05. It's a bit rude to do a straight in approach. Yeah. It's doable. Let's see what this thing has to say. No approaches available. Circuit only. Alright, we'll do that. There's 05, we'll enter from the dead side, all the way up, kind of like a backwards downwind, and then we'll drop into the crosswind and the proper downwind after that, left-hand turns. Yeah, we'll stick with the old Hotel Tango Mike for a little while. How many more airports? After this one, we'll have Noosa, Kalula Cove, Harvey Bay on Friday. And from Harvey Bay, we'll head on up to Bundaberg. And then we'll say goodbye to this aeroplane. Jump into something a bit quicker. Because we've got like 300-mile legs in our future. And you can't do those at 120 knots. $285 miles leg and a 342-mile leg. Another 268-mile leg. So they're not going to be pleasant at anything under 200 knots. And I believe that there was somebody that was making a request that we do the flight in the Diamond DA62. I think that was a grant. So in response to that, we are not going to be flying Miracle of the Crocodile Infested River. Yeah, well, welcome to Queensland. What can I say? Saying goodbye to the Glasshouse Mountains. Nearly up to where we were on Sunday a couple of weeks back. 2 Sundays ago. So I've been hanging around in the Brisbane area for 2 weeks. It's time to get out of here. Friday we do. There's the orchard. That's in the thing. The Roy's Orchard. Bunch of fruit trees. You would have thought that a bunch of trees would have been a distinctive feature, but they're there. 5 miles out. There's another airplane coming straight at us, 1,000 below. Serious vision for the long legs, eh? Maybe. We'll have a Garmin 1000 anyway. Yeah, it'll do. Traffic Caloundra, Hotel Tango Mike is 5 miles south of the field at 1,500. We'll be joining from the dead side onto runway 05 for Paul the Crossrate. That's our runway there. A little bit more of the Sunshine Coast up here. It's not quite as spectacular as the Gold Coast, but smaller. That has a spectacularness of its own. Couple of big tanker ships, cargo ships coming up to the port. Great bridge and river marina there. That's an openable bridge. Barbs recognises the sunny coast. Nice part of the world. Haven't been for a while. Last time I was up in this part of the world, I was barely a teenager. 13 or something. Square off the approach there. And I'll descend into the circuit now. Visual with the other aircraft. He's going the wrong direction on the runway. Yeah, wind 05. I hope he enjoys his 14 knot downwind. Traffic Caloundra, Hotel Tango Mike is 1100 on the crosswind, runway 05, full stop. $20-year ago Caloundra, hey? Oh well. Okay, brakes are released, undercarriage is fixed, mixture fully rich. Pump is on, force tank is set. Seats and harnesses are secure. Traffic Caloundra, Hotel Tango Mike is a Piper Cherokee on downwind, runway 05. Oh, he's doing touch and goes on the wrong runway. May need to modify our approach. Maybe we'll take runway 12 as an option. Keep an eye on him. So there he goes. Just come straight at us. Alright, we'll do a really wide re-entry on runway 12.
Traffic.
Can't wait for a new voice codec. I think it's less than a month away. We're talking about 14 days in the Facebook post. But that 14-day counter hasn't started yet. Traffic Caloundra, Hotel Tango Mike is repositioning. Dead side for runway 12, full stop. I believe that we're meant to be on the right hand circuit now, aren't we? So because we are positioning for runway 05 with head on collision approach, we've kind of gotten ourselves into the wrong position now. Thinking about how to get out of that. What's the geometry of the situation? Teardrop entry back into the downwind on the right hand side? Yeah, I think we'll do that. Because I was hoping to land on runway 05 straight into the most headiest of headwinds, but we've got someone doing the wrong circuit direction on runway 23 with a full 14 knot downwind on his approach. Now I'm not really interested in doing a 14 knot downwind, so nah. I reckon if we do a massive right hand turn right about now, that'll put us into a right hand circuit. So off we go, offshore, over the sandbar. Traffic, Caloundra Hotel Tango Mike is a right-hand turn onto joining downwind runway 12, Caloundra. Nothing like someone doing downwind circuits. Crosswind I can understand. There's some merit in practicing crosswinds. But downwinds? At 14 knots? Nah. There we go. Traffic Caloundra Hotel Tango Mike is right downwind of runway 12, full stop. Stay at about 100 knots. One, two is right about there. Where's our other traffic? On the runway. I think we've timed that pretty well. Yep, he's doing a touch go. That works out for me. He's through the intersection now, let's do it. Traffic, Caloundra Hotel Tango Mike is turning base runway 12. Cover heat's on. Oh, he's backtracking now. Need a bit more flap. That's going to be tough and awful approach. Better be backtracking. I think it's a backtrack. Yep, he's vacated. Cool. Traffic Caloundra Hotel Tango Mike, final runway 12. Bit too flat, didn't like it very much. Traffic Caloundra Hotel Tango Mike, entering runway 05 on the backtrack. We'll call you once clear. See cyclatives, how you doing? Dot wallop. No need to dot wallop someone just because they can't read which direction the runway goes. That's clearly what happened. Runway 05, that must mean I go into runway. Traffic Caloundra Hotel Tango Mike is vacating runway 05. flaps retracted. Well, clearly that's where the helicopters live. Don't want to go there. There's the fuel bowser. We'll pick that up on Friday. This is where a bunch of fixed wing things live. I think I'll just park in the visitor parking right there. One impressive looking machine in front of us. Brakes are set. 1000 RPM. Shut down everything. Let's open it up. Cool. Let's jump out and get all of our stuff on the airplane. Cool. So the chocks are in, tie downs on. Pitot cover is on, tie downs. Bunch of kookaburras. Don't know why there's a caravan randomly parked on the airfield, but anyway. There we are, HTM in Caloundra, near the Sunshine Coast. Guess it is technically on the Sunshine Coast as much as near. Just ever so slightly inland. Looks like they've forgotten to put wings on this aeroplane. That'll quite a bit of work. Anyhow, there we are. Nice little flying for Wednesday. Hope you have enjoyed the flying. We'll be heading on probably Friday on up to past the Sunshine Coast without landing. In fact, we'll avoid the entire Class D zone and then head on up to Noosa, Tallulah Cove and Harvey Bay. And with that, I'll leave you guys to the sound of kookaburras and some dirt bike. Thanks for flying. Thanks for watching. I've been Music Labor. Catch you guys next time.